Good morning. Just getting out of this farm we stayed at last night in San Cristobal. It was wonderful. It felt like being in a magazine or something. Interestingly, it was the cabins and everything were built by D.H. Lawrence and Aldous Huxley in the mid-20s, which is really, really cool. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful morning here. Today we're going to be headed into Taos, and then hopefully a little bit south of that to stay with a Warm Showers host. So check in with you a little bit later. We've got some hills, and let me focus on those for a little while. All right, bye. Good morning, everyone. It's been, I don't know, almost 25 miles of riding already today. We left Espanola, New Mexico, and we're on our way to Santa Fe. And in fact, I believe we're in Santa Fe right now, at least on the outskirts. It was quite a climb. It was 1,940 feet over the course of about 18 miles. So it was a bit of a slog to get here, but I'm real excited to get here. It's also symbolically kind of cool. So if you recall, the very beginning of my trip loosely followed one of the major road pathways in American history, which was the National Road. Shortly after getting off the National Road on the western side of Missouri, I started loosely following the Santa Fe Trail. And so it's kind of a symbolic milestone that I'm here in Santa Fe. It just feels great to meet another one of these major milestones on a trip like this. For the next phase, we're actually going to be following another major historic route, the Mother Road, they call it, Route 66. So ideally, we're going to be loosely following Route 66 all the way into Southern California. There are parts of it that I'm looking forward to, and there are parts of it that sound very intimidating. But you know what? We're not going to dwell too much on that. Tomorrow is a new day, and really I just try to take it one day at a time on this trip. So we'll talk soon. See you later. All right, good morning, guys. Really late morning. Woke up in Santa Fe and decided to call an audible, and we got on it's kind of like this little regional rail train called the Rail Runner. It was pretty funny. Every time the doors opened and closed, they played the little Roadrunner meep meep sound. So we are here in Albuquerque, just west of downtown Albuquerque, on a dedicated bike path, and it's pretty beautiful. Huge cottonwood trees over here, no traffic, just walkers and cyclists. It's gonna be a little bit hotter today than it has been, but that's okay because we don't have too far to go. Our camping and hotel options for tonight were extremely limited, and last night it was looking very dire because there was not only no campsite, but the only motel was completely booked. But Ron made a call and managed to get us one room. So that actually saved our ass, because I'm not certain that this day could have been doable without that. But anyway, I'll let you go. We're just here on this really cool path, making some time. Not too long to go today, and then tomorrow is the start of a whole new adventure as we journey west for the first time in like a week, and head towards a bunch of cool stuff like lava flows and Puebloan ruins and stuff like that. So I'll catch up with you guys later. Bye. All right. Good morning, everybody. We are just outside Albuquerque, probably 20 miles west of Albuquerque, at the Route 66 Hotel and Casino, which, I fully expected based on my experience with other hotel casinos. I expected this to be tobacco-y and, kind of dank and gross smelling, but it was awesome. Super clean, bed was super great. People were super friendly. Really, the only downside was dinner was really expensive. We just stocked up for the day at the gas station over here. The sun hasn't yet risen, but it's bright enough to see, and the temperature feels amazing out here. So we're ready to get started. Here's the deal for today. It's 60 miles, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's all uphill and there's a significant amount of climbing, so it's kind of like a choppy uphill. I expect this to be one of the most physically demanding days of the tour, and perhaps one of the more mentally demanding days as well, because probably half of the riding today is on the interstate, on I-40. Riding on the interstate sometimes is nice because the roads are graded, but the weird thing is I mapped it out on the interstate today if I was just to stay there all day, and it was actually more hilly than the veering off to the old Route 66 roads. So we're going to do a combo of the interstate and Route 66. We're going to try our very best to avoid glass and other debris on the side of the road, because that's really what you get when you ride on the interstate. And we're just going to try our best to do it, 1 minute at a time. No matter how hard it is physically, we've got to get to the next spot, which is the town of Grants. And there's a cool, or hopefully cool, hostel there for cyclists. But anyway, I'm really enjoying this part of the trip so far. It's unexpectedly pretty out here. I think by the time it's noon, it's probably going to shift my mind a little bit. But yeah, here, 6:30 in the morning, the desert feels amazing. Signing out. See you guys. All right, good morning. I am leaving Grants, New Mexico. It's about 7:30. Had a breakfast at McDonald's and got to meet with a bunch of locals who were really interested in what we were doing. Some of them are mountain bikers themselves. Grants is interesting because it's a crossroads for a bunch of different trails. The CDT hiking trail goes through Grants. The GDMBR, which is the Great Divide mountain bike route, goes through Grants, as does the trail that we're on, which is the Route 66 bike route. So the place we stayed at last night actually had another cyclist staying there. They had posters up for bike stuff, and the people we met in McDonald's were mountain bikers as well, so it was altogether pretty neat. Great weather right now. A little chilly, but it's exactly the kind of chilly I want, you know, like 51, 52 in the morning, mid to low 80s in the afternoon, just ideal conditions. Tonight we're headed towards a bunch of lava stuff and a bunch of petroglyph stuff. We're headed towards El Morro National Monument, and on the way there we should also pass by some spots where, you know, if we're feeling up to it and we're making good enough time, we can stop off and maybe see some lava tubes and stuff like that. Really interesting landscape over here. So that's the plan, is to camp in the national park tonight, and then the next day make it up to Gallup, which is like on the doorstep of Arizona, which is pretty exciting. Anyways, see you guys there. Bye. Hey guys, I'm here in camp, El Morro National Monument. It's like one of the most beautiful campgrounds I've ever been to in my life. There's only 7 spots. Today was a really hard ride, not least of which because it's Saturday and we knew that this was a beautiful campground with only 7 spots. And there really weren't any other options, so we, tried our very hardest to get here as quick as possible. And we were contending with some extremely, extremely harsh headwinds and gusts. You can probably hear them around me right now. It's gusting over 50 miles an hour, and it was right in our face. And then there was also just a very, very serious climb with a really small shoulder and lots of little tight turns. And all in all, I will say, for as much natural beauty as I saw today, it was not an enjoyable ride. But I'm here in this just stunningly beautiful part of the world, just blessed with a campground that's, unspoiled by giant RVs. It's free. I needed that. I needed a good free campground. And now that I'm here, the breeze feels real nice. It's going to probably get pretty cold tonight. But I'm just soaking up all of the natural beauty here while I can. Had a really early dinner. It's only 3 o'clock, but I was pretty bonked, so I made some mashed potatoes for dinner already. And we might head out. There's a petroglyph hike. They call it the inscription walk because apparently there's some stones over here that have been carved on for 10,000 years. So there's some buffalo and bear that are 10,000 years old apparently. I might be making up that number, but really, really old. And there's also some really interesting sort of settler type stuff where people have carved their names, 100 years ago. So if we get enough energy, probably going to go check that out. Just wanted to give you guys a little update about, how wonderful everything is. I mean, one more thing before I go. Tomorrow, probably going to be harder. If the wind goes away or shifts to our back, it's going to be okay. But the current conditions are more climbing, more steep climbing, and about 20 more miles than what today was. So it could be hard. The difference maker, though, is that we're not in a race to get anywhere. Good morning. Just probably about 10 miles into the ride, leaving Gallup, New Mexico. Today's going to be a pretty awesome day because A, the scenery's crazy. I mean, look at this. It's nuts. But also because we're entering Arizona today. I'm pretty excited about that. Every new state is a great day. Anyways, today shouldn't be too hard. Seems like it's generally pretty downhill. The weather's amazing, the scenery's amazing, and we don't have that many miles to do today. So just kind of taking it easy, cruising, enjoying this. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Take care. Bye.